It's early spring, and you have to get your body ready for all that gardening that we'll be doing this year. I'm out at Wellspring in Woodburn with Rebecca, and Rebecca, you're in charge of the fitness center here, and she's going to be giving us a lot of great tips about working in your garden and getting warmed up. What are we doing right now?
Thanks, Judy. What we're doing right now is something that you can do before you start gardening or midway through when you need a little break. Just simply take a garden tool like a rake or a shovel, which most of us have, and you're just going to extend your arms wide and just bring your arms up over your head to your level of comfort to stretch that chest and warm up those major muscles like your shoulders. Now, because it is a cold day, and that's pretty common here in Oregon, you really want to make sure that you're warm and ready to do some of the deeper work like digging and lifting and whatnot. And this is a great way to start to warm up those upper body muscles, and be sure that you're taking some deep breaths while you do this so you can
that feels good.
connect with that body awareness. And there's a couple other things that I want to show you that you can do either while you're beginning and so getting warmed up, or when you're midway through and it's a great time to stop and say, hey, I might need a break, I need to stretch out. One of the biggest challenges with gardening, like any other activity, is that if you don't stop partway through and assess how you're doing, you could end up being overly sore or hurt
definitely.
yourself.
Know where you're at, know what kind of work you're doing. Definitely.
Exactly, and it is work. We forget that sometimes because it's fun and you're outside, it's not in a gym, but it still is work.
Right, so now what else do you want for us to do?
So here's what I want to show you. If you have a fence, or if you have a side of the house, or anything that's a wall of sorts, you just want to put your hands about hip shoulder width apart, and you're going to walk your hips back, stretch out, and you're going to drop your hips in your chest and look down. So what we're doing here is we're, again, opening the chest and the arms, but we're also getting a nice release for the low back. It's just important that you keep a wide stance and soft knees if you have tight hamstrings, and let your neck relax.
That feels good against my back, and I think that's where we always get a lot of pain, is in our back, so stretch it out.
Absolutely. And then as you come up, think about engaging your core to lift yourself up, and you're ready to go. One more thing I want to show you right here. Commonly I hear about folks who maybe are lifting things like a watering can or a bucket that's maybe got some heavy things, and they might be sort of lopsided like this. So what you want to focus on there is you want to use your core muscles and stand up straight and bend your knees if you need to support you. But what you can also do with this is you can use it as a stretching tool to stretch those sides. So I can straighten my legs a little more. I can let the weight of the can or the pail lower me down, and I can just bring an arm up over my head. See, now I'm actually using this heavy object as a tool to get a nice stretch, and again, bring more awareness to how my sides are doing, and then slowly come on up.
Good. So next time we go to the gym, we can just bring our water can. We don't have to have weights.
Absolutely. Who needs weights when you're in the garden? You've got rocks and watering cans and trees and wheelbarrows and all kinds of things. So.
Well, let's go over to this other site, and you have some other stretches for us.
I sure do. Thanks.
Rebecca, what are these kind of stretches for when we're leaning forward?
So these are really great if you have some kind of a hill to use as a tool to stretch the front of the thigh here. And all you want to do is just use the tool, the hill to your level of comfort, and just kind of lean into it, keeping your back leg fairly straight, soft knee if you need it. And this is really important because, again, you might be using your legs a lot if you're doing a lot of lifting or a lot of squatting down, which is very common in the garden. And the other piece then is that you can switch the direction and straighten that front leg, lift the toe, and then come forward for a hamstring stretch. And so many people are so tight back here, and then it affects their low back. So what this does is it helps keep your low back fairly limber and allows you, again, to have better reach and have better range of motion. And there's just one more thing I want to show you. So we see this a lot in folks who come in and they're a little tight in their back, and they come to our yoga classes or what have you because they've done some digging and they're kind of like this and they're really straining their back. So what I encourage is to use kind of a yoga model and to get into a lunge, coming down onto a knee pad and then bringing a foot forward. And then of course you could give yourself a little stretch, but then you can get much closer to whatever it is you're working with and keep your body safe.
That's really a key. And now if we come out to Wellspring here, you can either join as a full membership or you have drop-in classes. So there's something for everybody's level.
Absolutely there is. We welcome people. We are open 7 days a week. You're welcome to come even if you're not a member, drop into a class. We offer special programming and workshops as well as regular fitness center membership like you might find throughout the local region. And we have yoga classes 6 days a week as well as other classes and your typical fitness equipment that would help you make your gardening experience exactly what what you want it to be, which is fun.
Well, I think we're all going to be a little bit more healthy this year because of that. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And you can check out more about Wellspring at www.iamwellspring.com.